Ian, before we talk about Inverness this weekend, one last mention of the epic win last Friday. It should motivate everyone for the coming weeks.
Yeah, it is. It was a fantastic win for us. A really good performance as well. Probably the first time we've played well against Dunfermline this season, in my opinion, or certainly to the levels that we're capable of. And boys deserve a lot of credit. But it's away now. We're going to the next game, a really tough game up in the Highlands against a really good side who are full of good players.
One of the main headlines after the game, very obviously, from the broadcasters and the journalists, the 3-6-1 formation. It shows that you have a range of options, but it doesn't mean that that's going to be the new shape for the rest of the season, does it? No,
it's just I look at more of it as a team that can now play a back three rather than anything else within that formation. Sometimes your hands forced and your arms twisted a little bit, and you have to go with what you've got, and that was probably the case on Friday night. It is good knowing though we're predominantly a back four team. Pretty much every game this season I think we've played a back four. A three's not something we've looked at too often. We played it last season out there against Morton, and I thought we were a wee bit all over the place with it, even though we went 2-0 up. That's the way it goes. But yeah, it's nice knowing that the players can adapt really, really quickly. It was a huge test for them mentally to handle that change so late on in the week.
And looking to the challenge of this weekend, up there in Inverness, they're on a great run, unbeaten in 7, I think it is. They don't come much tougher, but our last result versus Inverness should stand us in good stead.
Yeah, it was a tough game, tight game, that's for sure, and it was a time when Inverness were going through a really hard time, and I didn't feel that they were going to be down the bottom for very long, to be truthfully honest. And I looked at their squad and thought really good players, and on the day they probably deserved a point here. So we know it's going to be really, really tough. They're a good footballing side. They pass the ball really well at the moment. They've got players covering the width of the pitch really well. We know they've got goal scorers. David Witherspoon, Billy Mackay has been doing it for years. So full of experience. New manager putting his ideas into the team as well. So it's set up to be a really good game.
Yeah, and how's the preparation been? I mean, have the players had an extra spring in their step after that brilliant performance last Friday?
Yeah, they have. There's no doubt these sort of results and performances like that certainly build us up, and everybody's happy with that result. But again, I go back to their strength. We've not really talked about it too much this week because we're always talking about the next one, which is Inverness, and we want to go up there to the difficult venue, like you said, and get the 3 points. We just want to keep pushing. We said that after Friday in football, you don't get too long to enjoy things. We did enjoy Friday, but we move on really quickly.
Yeah, and by the time assuming he takes the pitch, Dan O'Reilly, he'll have had another full week's training with the squad and a full game through at Dunfermline. His versatility is going to be really vital.
Yeah, seen it training before he signed his contract. He was a fit guy, real competitor as well, and I think we saw that on Friday evening. His defending was no nonsense. There was no bad decision making, and he wanted to get on the ball. It's not often you get a player playing at that level signing for you so late in the season, so he deserves a huge amount of credit. There was credit given to everybody on Friday night, no doubt about it, but Dan was certainly part of that.
Yeah, and I'm right in thinking that Sean Byrne should be available again after the cup tie loan thing.
Yeah, Sean's available, so great to get him back as well. We're getting a few guys back now, which is really good. Obviously Scott McGill was back for the Dunfermline game, Dylan Corr's now back, Adam Masson was precautionary, so we're starting to look a wee bit better. We just got to try and keep going. We're going into a really busy, important time of the season, we need to try and pick up as many points as we can.
Finally, a major aspect of Friday there was the support you got from the stands. If it hadn't been on live TV, might have been even bigger and louder. But that support you're going to get up in Inverness and going forward is so vital, isn't it? Yeah,
it is. We've had it all season, down at Ayr as well. I thought they were tremendous down there. Really backing the lads, in a tough game after a defeat in the league as well, to see how we handled that. So the fans backing for any football club is essential, and no doubt about it. We're really enjoying it at the moment, because I think there's been games this season where they've helped us get over the line. They've never given up on us in very, very tight games, backed us right to the last few minutes, and all that, when you put all that together, and as well as the players' efforts, then you win games.
Thanks for that. Good luck.
Thank you.